firefighter, professor, president, doctor, inventor, captain. Most of us pictured men in these roles. The cultural norm is for men to hold positions of power and control. We don't even have mental patterns created for women to have a place in these occupations. See, we have definitive neurological categories encouraged by culture, conditioned by society, and propagated by etymology that confirm men as the standard of authority. And these boxes get tighter and tighter, so much so that when you receive information that doesn't fit, your brain entirely rejects it. And men, before you tune out, this is not meant to attack or insult. We are all beloved. Please listen and know that the beauty of the feminine exists in you also. Sexism is defined as bias based on biological sex or characteristics associated with femaleness. So not only am I dehumanized because of my physical body, but also because of characteristics deemed inherent to my biology. You may think I'm being too dramatic by suggesting that systems of sexism exist, but the sobering fact is that women hold only 7% of jobs in leadership. A woman I know was told by a business, "Gosh, you're going to be a bargain for us." She was more qualified than the man who came before her, and yet she was told by her employer that they could start her salary at 30% lower. Our children learn these structures young. Girls' t-shirts say things like, "Hey, I'm fabulous and fun," while in the boys' section, the t-shirts read, "Adventure awaits, dream big dreams, be free." It's no wonder we picture men as our cultural heroes, fighting the good fight, defeating their foes. As a little girl, you know who were my idols? The damsels in distress. A princess stuck on top of an impenetrable fortress, a woman who couldn't pull herself out of her situation and needed a man to rescue her from her oppression. This system is present everywhere you look. Radio, movies, television, books. It gives life and breath to acts of violence and sexual threats. See, when we ensure that maleness means power, strength, and domination, and femaleness means weakness, meekness, and submission, it only reinforces the daily violence committed in our nation. 1 out of every 6 women has been a victim of an attempted or completed rape. That's over 20 million women just in the States, and that isn't even counting sexual assault cases. And I wasn't raised oblivious to this reality. Women know the danger they face in society. We are taught to carry our keys between our fingers while alone in a parking garage, so if we're accosted, we can swing with claws. We are afraid to walk on a street by ourselves because it is not unlikely that we could be one of the stories those numbers tell. Through images, language, and propaganda, this reality is reinforced. That woman deserved it. After all, she was asking for it in those shorts. When we don't see women as full people, you don't treat them as full people, speak to them as full people, or pay them as full people. The church has a responsibility to reverse this prejudice, but Christianity nearly exclusively celebrates maleness. God the Father, Jesus the Son. We say we believe in incarnational theology, God in flesh, but if we truly believe the image of God is manifest in all people, then that image also includes the female. He and she are just symbols pointing to the divine. So if this shirt offends you, you may want to think about why. When we attach only male pronouns to figures of our spirituality, do you know how that sounds to women in the sanctuaries? It is essentially saying that male equals blessed and female equals God's second best. But we are all formed in the likeness of God, beloved and worthy, gentleness, toughness, beauty, and bravery, combining to communicate God's goodness in creation. We can only understand the fullness of the deity when women's bodies aren't objects to be taken. We are not commodities to be sold or products to be bought, but good, equal, and holy image bearers of God. Men, You have to acknowledge this and call the evil of the system what it is. But it is not enough to say sexism exists when you have the power to dismantle it. If you hear men demeaning or abusing women in language or indeed locker room or living room, it is your responsibility to shut it down. My fellow women, we have oh so far to go, but look how much we've grown. Both women and men before us have sacrificed and contented and busted their asses so this evil could be rescinded. Don't neglect their courage and don't forget their fight. We will break that damn ceiling one crack at a time. Show up, lock arms, march, call, preach, pray, persist, keep standing, keep rising, and keep resisting.